Hey, Pepin.
Yo, meter.
You know, I've been thinking a lot lately about video games.
Oh, it's like that Naked Brother song. Like, I love video games, right?
Why every time I talk to you, do you bring up the Naked Brothers?
Well, because they were like like a symbol of their time. Like,
Nate, it's been 15 years. Let them go.
like every time they had like an extra long break after like, oh yeah, cartoons or whatever, there'd be Naked Brother span. It was the best.
So I've been thinking about video games that didn't involve the Naked Brothers band, which is a lot of them.
Okay, they weren't just a band, they were a TV show, and they had like a band in the TV show. It was super meta. Like, you can't get too meta into that. Like, okay, Hannah Montana did the same thing, but she was Miley Cyrus in Hannah Montana. This was just Naked Brothers band.
Nate, we need to talk. That's our opening to the streaming episode, guys. Naked Brothers band.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what the Naked Brothers band is.
Welcome back. So glad you guys could join us. I am here once again with my best friend, Nathan. Pevin, how's it going today, Pevin?
I'm doing well. I just want to make it very clear. I do not watch Naked Brothers band on a yearly basis. It's at least...
Do you watch the Close Brothers band?
No, that one. Are they good?
No, they're equally bad.
Ah, nice.
And we are joined today by special guest, BamaShockz. Bama, who is your favorite Naked Brother?
Brother Bear
Nailed it.
from the Bear Instincts.
Oh, I used to have
Brother
I used
Bear.
to have a Brother Bear little stuffed animal.
Interesting. File that away for later.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. Naked Brothers band. My favorite's Alex.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Let's get into the actual topic here. I like this. You real this with the Naked Brothers.
Wait, is this not the topic?
It's not. The real topic is butt plugs. No, it is actually streaming and like Let's Plays and stuff, because the interesting thing that happened at some point is me to stop laughing. Stop doing that face.
I actually think the most interesting fact is I know more about butt plugs than I do the Naked Brothers band.
Then you know an equal amount about both. A lot of overlapping facts there.
Okay, so streaming.
I stream video games.
You do?
I don't stream video games, but but
we're streaming right now.
Well, that's true. We're not a video game, are we? Are we?
No.
Are we?
That would be a really good idea, that we're playing video games and streaming at the same time. People would love that.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
I've done that once or twice.
Do a podcast while we are streaming video.
All right.
I've done that once or twice.
So streaming kind of came out of Let's Plays, as far as I'm aware. I mean, there's different kinds of streams nowadays, but it's like there was Let's Plays, and for a while, people didn't get Let's Plays. I didn't get Let's Plays for a while. And eventually, I started wanting like tips on certain strategy games, so I started like watching them. And then eventually, I just started like watching Let's Plays because I like the person doing the like the Let's Play itself and just their perspective. And sometimes there's games I don't want to play because they're too tedious, but watching other people play is a little bit easier. And then I don't watch them too often, but that's mostly what I watch them for. And then every once in a while, I'll watch like streaming things. Like, for instance, yesterday, today's the 19th, or maybe the 20th now. But yesterday, there was a live stream for Baldur's Gate 3. And they kind of went over some new gameplay footage. It was live and everything. I get that because it's like a live event sort of thing. I also get this because it's a live event. But a lot of people, they stream like just video games and nothing but video games. And
can we side tangent real quick? You're a fan of Baldur's Gate.
I'm not. I can't say.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, you realize where Baldur's Gate is, right?
Well, you see, it's that city that's really big, and no, I don't.
Michael Wingate CV told us.
It is in I don't know who you're talking about, but it is in the Forgotten Realms of Dungeons and
Oh,
Dragons. Carry
Michael
on.
Wingate CV is the one who was on for our D&D episode, our special guest who told us that Baldur's Gate
that's
was
right,
a
that's right,
very
that's right.
early D&D thing.
So Forgotten Realms, as far as I'm aware, is like where the normal stuff happens, and there's the Ethereal Realms, and that's where like there's like magic pirate ships, and then there's the place where those fish exist, and they're encased in like a gelatin sort of thing.
Disney Channel, yeah.
And so, I want to check that stream out because the people who are making Baldur's Gate 3 made Divinity Original Sin, and that's the game I like. And I don't know why, but I look up lore videos of different things. So that, I also have seen too much D&D lore. I'm not like good at it, but I know like random facts and kind of out of place facts that are not correct. And so, that's most of the streaming I've watched. I've also watched some of Meter streams and also some of the streams from people who are fellow content creators, such as Fishstick from IDK Radio. And that's interesting because I have a personal investment in it, but I don't really see too much beyond that. And that's my relationship to kind of say let's plays and streaming. I know there's other kind of streaming, like say naughty streaming, and also just kind of like people doing their daily life streaming, which is kind of strange. Like people just going to taxis and it's kind of like walk around cities, which I don't understand that one. But what would you say your guys' relationship is to it?
I stream sometimes video games, especially the sports stuff that I do for TPC Sports Live, as well as I'm doing a run through of Kingdom Hearts. I've never played Kingdom Hearts before, and it was free on Xbox, so I downloaded it. Batgirl suggested that I give it a try. Said it's an awesome series, and I love it. When I went to Thousand Acre Woods, I fucking lost my mind.
Kingdom Hearts, is that the Disney one?
Yeah.
Really? I thought that was PlayStation exclusive, so they must have loosened that up.
It was. It's not anymore.
Oh.
And love it. It's a great game. I like RPGs. And this one has all familiar characters I know, and you're in that world. And I get to beat up bad guys. It's a lot of fun. So stream some of that stuff. And I used to watch a ton of speedrun stuff, specifically Andy. He does a lot of Zelda Link to the Past speedruns. He's like one of the old OGs when it comes to those speedruns. And he still streams it, and Super Metroid as well. So what's that called? The big speed gaming event that they do every year.
Games Done Quick.
Yeah, GDQ. Yep. And then lastly, every year I do Extra Life, which is a streaming event for kids with cancer. So, I raise money for them. Last year I raised $500. I have a medal around here somewhere for doing that for the Boston Children's Miracle Network. And I'll be doing it again this November, and hope to meet that goal again, $500. And I have some cool donation matches I have planned this year, and may get some companies involved too. So really, really exciting stuff when it comes to that. But I kind of stream just for fun, and then I stream to raise money for charity. But I just don't have the mental fortitude, the technical abilities to actually like be a professional streamer like some really talented people are.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were talking about the different approaches to streaming. There are as many approaches to streaming as there are personalities in the world, because you can come at it from the let's play perspective and, say you're really, really good at a type of game, whether it be Fortnite or Baldur's Gate or Call of Duty, and you can show off your prowess at the game.
Mm-hmm. Go all ninja, or who's the guy who does the Sea of Thieves? Can't remember that guy's name. Anyway, go on.
The first guy I think of with Sea of Thieves is Mudcat, but
anyway, go on.
You can come at it from the aspect of we're just playing the game regardless of how bad we suck, but you have an entertaining personality. Or you can come from the point of view of we're playing the game together as a group. Say you've got a Minecraft realm and there's 6 or 7 of y'all and you're all in the party. You're sharing that with the community, and you're just all hanging out as a group.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's, like you said, the quote unquote naughty streams where they're doing yoga or Dance Revolution, and they're obviously doing it looking for sugar daddies. There's that aspect of it.
And I've been looking for a sugar daddy for so long.
I just can't find
I
one.
know. I need more of that downward facing dog.
Don't we all?
No, I mean you do streaming, right?
Yes, I have been streaming, and I just looked. I have been streaming for almost 3 years now. Yeah. I started out literally just playing on my Xbox and streaming directly to Mixer, no camera, I mean nothing but a microphone and a headset and a game. And after about 4 months of that, I took the deep dive. And when I say a deep dive, I spent around $6,000 on equipment, from monitors to microphones to PCs to green screens to lighting, just so that I could give it a full push and give it my all. And I was working full time, and I was probably, putting in full time hours and streaming in excess of full time hours. And within 8 months of taking it serious, I was partnered on Mixer, which is, the little stepbrother platform to Twitch.
Well, it's the one supported by Microsoft. You can stream right through Xbox to Mixer. Yep. Both Twitch and Mixer have invested a lot of money in streaming. A lot of companies have. YouTube, Facebook, pretty much everybody who has a video service is pushing streaming because they see the market there.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely a market there. But you have to imagine the bandwidth from the viewer's perspective is there's only so many people in the world looking for this type of entertainment at a time. So as a streamer, you're always vying for example, if you are streaming this podcast, there are only X amount of people looking for a podcast, and then there's a smaller number, we'll say Y, people looking for this type of podcast. And the same is true about streaming. Okay, you've got we'll say 1 million people at a time looking for gaming content, but you've only got 100,000 looking for Fortnite or 50,000 looking for Call of Duty. And then you say you've got, 5,000 streamers. So you've got to set yourself apart, whether it be through your gameplay, whether it be through your stream presentation, or whether you do it through your own unique personality.
Or my way, which is clickbait.
Oh, straight clickbait.
And I have no shame about that. If it gets me the viewer, I don't care how you got here. But hey, hang out, stay a little while. I'll clickbait you again. Clickbait
your brains out.
I'll clickbait you all night.
So I look up a lot of videos about, say, audio and video production, and a lot of the audio and video production advice is actually, say, directed towards streamers and like streaming setups. And it's like with anything. So it's like they talk about, say, getting the perfect, say, video quality for streaming, perfect audio quality, stream level audio. And stream level audio is kind of hard to do. It's something I've been trying to get mastered here. Like I can get my own audio perfect, but kind of getting like different people's audios, that's a little bit tougher. Like with the lattice normalization, because OBS plays a little bit finicky with certain plugins. But there's all this advice out there for people who are wanting to stream, and a lot of people are taking it up, especially granted during this quarantine environment. And it's really interesting to see that happen and evolve, because I don't even know what it is, because like there's previous broadcasting, which was more kind of professional, more kind of, like no rough edges. And you could say in live streams, there's not really like has to be a constant flux of, say, stuff. But in general, like people are trying to be entertaining, like that, like, you just want to be on all the time. And, but with this kind of newer form of entertainment, it's also kind of doesn't have to be, say, structured necessarily. Maybe there's some structure to it. but it's kind of like more personality driven. I mean, I guess maybe there's more other things, but it's just like an intriguing dynamic that's not really been explored, previously in the media.
Right. And the thing about the, taking the rough edges off and letting the personality 100% dictate the content is it also helps the viewer find that person that they relate with the most. Say you've got, we'll use the evening news for an example. You've got your 5 local stations and 5 national stations. I mean, you've got, 10 choices to choose from. However, if you jump on YouTube or Mixer or Twitch, you might have thousands of different choices when it comes to news. And they can, you might be able to relate with them because of they're coming from your race, nationality, or, maybe sexual viewpoint. You can relate with them better as opposed to the local and national news, which stick strictly to a teleprompter, strictly to company guidelines, that kind of thing. Whereas when it comes to streaming, as long as you're not flashing nipples everywhere, you're pretty much good to go.
There was actually a person that kind of got me into Let's Plays. A little shout out his name, Christopher Odd. He's on YouTube. He does a lot of streaming now, but he's the first streamer, or not streamer, he's the first Let's Player, now streamer, that I actually kind of started gravitating towards, because all the other ones I'd seen up to that point, they're very, I don't be dismissive towards them, but more PewDiePie-ish or more Markiplier-ish, over top reactions, and they play games, but they don't actually play the game. They're just more just clicking and trying to do stupid things, and just kind of get these, every moment is taken to 11. But this other person, Christopher Odd, the way he plays games is the way I play games. He gets really invested in the story. He understands the story. He takes his time and kind of explores these little avenues, find little secrets here. And it's not it's more oh, what's this? It's not oh my God, this secret. Like how the people would kind of play up the reaction. Nothing wrong with that necessarily, but I think you're right on with that point though, because a lot of people like the, say, Markiplier or that kind of dynamic, but I prefer something that's more like my own play style, where it's just kind of more story driven and more just kind of looking at the nuances and kind of exploring all these different little avenues and just kind of having that, say, nuanced approach. And I think that's definitely true with that.
I remember speed gaming is kind of what got me into streaming in the first place. And I remember back in, must have been 2012, maybe 2013. My good friend Joe had said he showed me this video of this guy who was streaming an old GTA, and he was just beating it as fast as possible. So he would steal a car and cut through and land between 2 trees, and it was the perfect run, and then slide to a stop in just the right spot to trigger the next cutscene. And it was really cool that he was doing a game that normally is supposed to take 40 hours in an hour and a half, or however long it was. I'm making up numbers, but the point remains that was kind of a cool thing that he thought was really cool. And this was super underground at the time. This was before, SGDQ or any of those games done quick events were really popular. He was on the forefront of that, and that he liked Achievement Hunter and Red versus Blue and all of that. I remember Red versus Blue way back. Yeah. Windsor showed me that way back in the day. And that's all the Rooster Teeth production. And I watched a lot of the Rooster Teeth stuff. So I remember it way back then, and it's so interesting to see how it's changed now, and to see that it's something that I can do now through my Xbox. With this camera right here, it's USB. I just plug it into my Xbox, and I sit back in my rocking chair with my PJ pants on and play a video game with a headset on, and people watch me play and enjoy that. I think my favorite thing I've ever been billed as is the world's most comfortable streamer, because it's very clear I'm just playing because I want to play a video game. I'm just having fun playing the game. And I think that's some of the appeal of people watching me play, is that I'm not doing anything to try hard. And I think it gets to your point, Nate, that there are you don't need to necessarily go to that level anymore. And Bama, you too, where there's something for everybody out there, and every different play style gives you something different. I am really envious of the people who really do a good job and they have a green screen and they put themselves in and you don't see any background because they green screen it out, and there's production value and they do a really good job. Bama, your streams are really, really good because you have good production value and it shows like you give a shit, versus mine, which is the opposite end of the spectrum. It's very clear I don't give a shit about the stream. I'm not a streamer. I'm not trying to be a streamer, but there's some sort of an appeal to that too.
Now, look, there's something that some of my streams have shared with some of your streams, and that's the introduction of libation. I mean, that happens from time to time, and it makes for great stream quality.
What was that word? Libation?
Libations.
Libations.
Adult beverages.
Ah. All right.
Everything I drink is in a koozie. And I mean, on top of that, there's streams like sports streams. Right now, there's no real sports, right? There's no real life sports. So sports streams have started taking off, and there's Bam and I both work with the TPC community, and there's TPC Sports Live, where we have actual real life people playing Madden, let's say, against each other. And we have real people live broadcasting that. So Bam and I will both be in the broadcast booth and calling that game while you're seeing it happen live. And it's in a real league where we're keeping stats. We have all of the stats. TPCfootball.com has all the stats from every season, from every game, every player ever. So there's a real community and there's a real production that goes into that. The amount of production that goes into a TPC Sports Live game is unreal. Facebook.com/TPC Sports Live. Watch one of the VODs. You'll see what I mean. There's pre-game graphics, in-game graphics, post-game graphics. You have real people talking about the game, talking about the players, talking about the history, what's happening, formations, passing. It's absolutely fascinating. And it's really cool that we're at a point now where we can do something like that. We can take something like sports, add real production value, and it's all done from my house. I'm doing it all sitting right here. I'm calling a game live. It's really, really cool, really fun to do, and really fun to watch.
I think that one thing I do is I do reaction videos, and I don't like stream those necessarily, but record those. And I feel like something that I might have in common with all people who do streaming or other sorts of things like this is that we have to feel productive or have to feel like we're doing something. Because whenever I watch a TV show and I'm not doing a reaction to it, I feel like I'm wasting content.
Yes. I feel bad when I'm not streaming and I'm playing a video game. I'm like, I might as well be streaming. There's no reason not to.
Do you know how long I've wanted to convince you and the crew to let me stream Fridays? But we're so far into it now, it's too late.
It is. But the beautiful thing is everything about this camp. I've spent probably hundreds of hours on this campaign, writing it and thinking about what's going to happen, that since it's all written, we could run other people through it.
I'd love to do that.
And I could have people who were players in the past come into the story even as those players, and play different roles. It would be really, really cool.
You could have like a new man on campus, just like a new player, essentially come in and just not know things and have other players explain it to him as it comes up, and just have it be a natural storytelling.
It's really, and that's the thing, is that there's so much opportunity out here for creating content. But I think that, like you're saying, Nate, that is the double-edged sword of being a content creator, is everything is content. So when you're not producing content, you feel like you're wasting the content. Like and that's how this all started, right, Nate? That's how We Need to Talk started. We would sit down, it was me, you, and G, and we were the shitbag supreme Gideon. Love that guy, miss him dearly. We sat down and we would have like this really cool conversation. We'd be like, and you were like, we should be putting this out there. This is entertaining. Podcasts are taking off. This is something that should be produced. And then I started doing that with everything in my life. Thanks, Nate.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I mean, I started doing it with TV shows and other things. I tried out with something else, but I'm not going to get into that because, yeah.
Oh, is it about your new girlfriend?
Actually, we might start doing some reactions soon because we were. Wait, what were you implying?
My girlfriend reacts to my dick.
Oh.
Why are there so many holes?
All right. I'm caught.
Was that not what you were getting at?
I got caught off guard there. No, I don't. Okay.
Sorry, Bama. I know you've been avoiding that episode, but maybe you should listen to it.
Well,
Yep, I'm headed there soon.
at this point, it's 3 different episodes. Cut in. Well, you can get different cuts of it, I guess, and
Good pun.
Yes. But streaming is incredibly interesting. How it's kind of getting more and more advanced. One thing that I find a little bit frustrating on a streaming point. I have some contentions. Number one is I work at an ISP company, so we get streamers calling a lot, and they complain because their stream's not top quality, and they don't realize that you don't get top quality streaming if you're not getting a good audience. Like if you have like 5 people watching, they're gonna make your video not look that great. If you're just joined Twitch like a week ago, they're going to not give you very good priority as far as like the servers go, because there's only so much bandwidth on their servers, and they're going to give, say, the big players the more bandwidth. So your stream quality may not be the best. But my other little thing is a lot of times people who do streaming, and this is also just people on YouTube in general, their audio sucks. I mean, right now I'm doing streaming, and I don't know if my audio sounds like great. I'm not a streamer particularly. Streaming's been more experimental for us for a little bit here, but I think our podcast, stuff sounds really good, and what we do put up sounds really good. But the audio on a lot of streams is just very subpar, like very very subpar. It's not very good. That's kind of my complaint about most streams.
Now, I usually, for me personally, audio's depending on the type of issues. If you're talking about the nuances between 9 decibels and 10 decibels, you can go fuck yourself. But if you're talking about crackling and cutting out and that kind of thing, I totally get that. But sometimes it's like you said, if you're low on the queue of people the platform cares about, they might not be allocating as much bandwidth to you, and it's out of your control.
Mhm.
But I completely get what you're saying.
3 different issues I have with most audio quality that I see. The first is that like the microphone's like way, way away from like their face. I mean, that's not a big deal if you have a proper setup, but it's like you essentially just hear their room. It's almost like they're in an echo chamber, and it's like.
And I've heard podcasts that are a snowball mic in the middle of a room with 2 people talking. I've been like, it sounds like they asked me, "What do you think of the podcast?" I think the content is great. It sounds like you have a snowball mic in the middle of a table between 2 people talking, and they're like, "Oh, that's exactly what we have." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what it sounds like." That's not a compliment. That's me telling you I can tell exactly what your production setup is, because you don't have it. All you need is one more mic and to bring them closer.
Yep.
Really simple.
We have Brian Langell in the chat saying people can forgive bad video, but they aren't really able to forgive bad audio, which it is true a lot of times because.
Well, that's why I was saying I wasn't sure if you were coming at it from the audio engineer standpoint, where if things aren't perfect, you're not happy. If you're talking about, like you said, the snowball mic in the middle of a room full of people, that's bad.
The other 2 big things, I mean, they're kind of the similar issues, but one issue is audio is too dynamic in that it's like you want your audio to be like one similar level, right? Because if it's too soft, then that's fine. People can turn it up, I guess. I mean, if they turn it up too loud, now if they play something else on their say computer, it's going to be like way too loud in their ears. So, like, you ever like say watch one video and you have to turn the volume way up, and then you watch another video and your ears get bleeding,
or even within the same one, and that's the hardest part, when the balancing is really off.
Yeah,
and one person's really quiet and one's really loud, or vice versa.
Yeah, and that's really hard to kind of do, because you as a listener, you don't want to be having your finger on the volume knob, like rocking back and forth. Or let's say the person is whispering and you can barely hear them, but then they start yelling all of a sudden. Like that's terrible. I mean, there's ways to like deal with that too. If you just monitor your audio and things like that, there's ways around it, or just proper.
Now, hold on, Pepin. I don't know any streamers out there that talk at a normal tone for 3 hours and then just get animated as hell going, "Let's go." I don't know anybody like that whatsoever.
A little self humor there, huh?
Oh yeah,
Hey,
yeah. felt targeted.
It's fine if you have like different dynamics, but does this have to be controlled within the, I don't know, like
You gotta know how to work the mic, right?
Yeah. Like something that me and Meter have talked about a lot is it's okay to like laugh. It's okay to loud. It's even okay to yell. But if you're going to yell, back away from the mic. Like, oh my God. Like I'm not yelling into the mic and it sounds all right. And even if it's say a little bit louder, I mean, actually that's probably a little bit softer because I was like, kind of talking away from it. It doesn't sound, bleeding to the ears.
No, I know what you're saying. I was just giving myself
I
a
got
hard time.
I got you. And the other thing is kind of similar to that is just clipping. Like your audio shouldn't be clipping in general. It's kind of hard to do with live streaming, but just doing some basic monitoring, make sure your levels are good, and having like a good monitoring source. I mean, OBS does a decent job monitoring audio levels, and you really shouldn't be clipping ideally, because clipping is gonna just grate your ears and make you want to click off.
Another big one that I would want to bring up when we're talking about audio quality, and this won't apply as much to single streamers, but crosstalk, because when you're trying to listen to something and there's multiple people talking at the same time, it's unlistenable. It's arguably worse than all of the other things you said.
Oh yeah. And that's something that people can very easily avoid too, because I don't know why they do it, but people will listen to things on their speakers. Like I know headphones don't look as cool, but wear headphones no matter what, or at least have your audio in some sort of way where your mic's not picking it up. Like there's certain mics that can really do a good job with that if they're especially in the pricier side. But if they can hear your game through, say, the actual game stream, and they can also hear the game through your speakers, there's going to be a slight delay, and it's going to sound very bad. If you're talking to somebody, it's going to sound even worse. Like, because, and if you even try to take that out through post, good luck. Good luck with that. That's nearly impossible.
The echo is not the echo, yes, but I was more referencing like when you have more than one person. So, and you wrote a really great article about this, Nathan, about passing the mic, about how to not talk over the other people when you're in a party together, when you're in a conversation together. Like this show right here, we all know how to pass the mic and take our turns. And I know when we do the TPC sports broadcast, we do it's sometimes it's hard because something exciting happens. So the play-by-play person is talking about Brady drops back. He's back at the 20 throwing. Oh my God, it's a long bomb and he catches it. Or it's an interception. And both people are excited. So they both want to talk, but it's hard to not cut each other off between doing an analysis of the play that just happened and setting up the next play and all of that. Having to wait your turn can be very difficult, but it's so important.
Right. And the other aspect of that is, in the article, I talk more about like passing it, like say more succinctly. It's kind of saying, all right, and what do you think of that? But, when you get really good at it, you can just like kind of end the sentence and people know when to come in because there's a certain tonality and a certain kind of rhythm to it where it's just like, okay, it's my time to start talking now.
Especially when you're, when you like know somebody or you've worked with them a lot. You learn when you can, and sometimes even when you can like cut them off and that they're done with their thought and maybe they need somebody to cut them off to get on to the next thing.
Because they just keep
very
rambling.
interesting.
Yeah. That's me sometimes. I repeat myself sometimes a lot. Yeah.
That's me always.
Bama, do you have any like pet peeves or any like advice to streamers starting out or just content creators in general?
When it comes to content creation, unless it's the topic you're really passionate about, stay away from Fortnite. Yes, that's where the largest audience of people are watching, but which means it's also the largest supply of streamers. I have been on Mixer's analytics page and I have literally seen more streamers streaming Fortnite than there were people watching Fortnite, which is a bad situation to be in. You're better off being in the top 10% of a smaller category, which could be a topic or game that you love. Yes, there are fewer people watching it, but you have far more of the market share.
And I don't think it's necessarily true of 100% of the time that the most viewers means the most people streaming. I think it's probably 95% of the time true. But my suggestion with that would be if you want to pick a popular game that you're pretty much always guaranteed to have people watching, just stream Minecraft, man. People will always watch Minecraft. Always.
Yep.
There will never be too many Minecraft streams.
And that's another thing. I don't know, when it comes to streaming and YouTube and stuff like that, I don't know what the next game is that's going to have the popularity of Minecraft or Fortnite. But if we could figure that out, we'd be billionaires, guys.
Well, I mean, D&D is definitely on the rise. So that was a good one to jump on. I think the interesting thing about Minecraft is the staying power, because it's consistently in the top 10. But then when there's a lull between popular games, there is no Fortnite right now. Minecraft jumps right back up to the top 3, a lot of times up to the top number 1. And it just consistently stays there month over month over month over month.
And that's a lot of that probably has to do with the diversity of content that can be created with Minecraft.
True.
You can do everything from, how to build this, how to mine for this, how to make this redstone contraption work, how to fish for the best loot. So many different avenues you can go to.
Yeah, or big builds, or a bunch of people together in a server screwing around, or a survival thing. There are different modes you can play. Now they have Minecraft dungeons. It's truly fascinating to see what Minecraft has done. And good on Xbox for purchasing that bad boy from Notch.
And one I left out of the conversation was Grand Theft Auto 5. Game's almost as old as Minecraft, and it still has the player base. It still has viewership on streaming platforms. It's crazy. Like a game like that I have zero interest in going back to. People are circling back around. You've got role-playing communities from everything from, cops and robbers type stuff to I've even seen role-play servers where they are UPS drivers, and I'm not even joking.
I watched Bruce Green. He was in Funhouse, part of Rooster Teeth, and he broke off, and now he's doing his own streams, and he does like My Summer Car, which is really funny. But he was doing one of the role play servers, and he was playing. He wanted to be a lawyer, but in order to be a lawyer, he had to start out doing a bunch of other stuff, and it was really cool to see all of the people doing the RP and like how good they were with their role play. So that it can be really cool content, and that's all within GTA 5, a really old game that's won't die. It just persists.
It's still in the top 10 sales list every month.
Crazy.
Yeah. What is it? NBD report? Is that what it is?
Absolutely wild.
Coming from the reaction kind of side of things, because I watch a lot of reaction videos myself. There's also kind of trends with that as well. I mean, a lot of the trends are people will try to watch new shows, especially anime. Anime is very big in the reaction community. But new shows are usually pretty big, but there's also just kind of certain staples that people cover. I mean, Game of Thrones used to be a big one, but ever since the last season, people are kind of avoiding it a bit more. But there's other, like, say, series which tend to be, very, very, very prominent. Death Note's one of them. Full Metal Brotherhood. There are a lot of ones which are just kind of more, I wouldn't say plot twist, but I think the more plot twisty it is, or the more kind of like up and down dynamics and kind of more able for an reaction it is, people are more into it. If it's kind of like just a more solemn kind of thing, people are less likely to watch it. The streaming is a little bit different though with that, because I've watched a couple Minecraft things just to see what it's about, and sometimes there's interesting videos I come across where they create like there's one where they created this whole Lord of the Rings realm, another where they created this whole, like, I don't know, crazy mining system, and I don't know, all these weird things. One guy created like Pokemon in it, which was like, he actually made the Pokemon like game with, I don't even know how he did it, but
I saw that one too. He made like a Game Boy, and then you could play actual Pokemon on it. He programmed it. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And
that was really cool.
Like I understand like how he did it on some level, because like he was describing like how the processor and all this kind of stuff worked, but I don't know how that actually works inside Minecraft, because I never played Minecraft. And it's like, is this a thing that happens in this game? Like,
yeah, they made little blocks that each block is one line of code. So he just had to string together all of the code. He made a top-down version of the actual map. So fascinating. Highly suggest go check that out. But yeah, I mean, Minecraft is so diverse for sure.
What's weird about Minecraft is it's a very solemn game, because whereas reactions kind of side, I mean, I'm certain there's people who are like more like say expedient, or well, other words, like more verbose, or I don't know what word I'm trying to use this, but they're more kind of just in your face about it. But every time I look at a Minecraft stream or something that's happening, I mean, exception of Jack Black and PewDiePie in that one episode, but exception to that, it's like everything's just kind of like, okay, we're gonna go over here, start some mining. Okay, I got some gold. Okay, now we need to get this thing. Okay, let me go over here. And it's just very just kind of like hang out and just kind of like nothing. I don't say nothing much happens, but nothing much happens.
I think a lot of people use streams as like background noise.
That's true.
And just like have stuff playing in the background. I let YouTube run in the background all the time while I'm doing other stuff. It's just something to, or podcasts, and I just let them play while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. And it's nice to be. I think it goes back to what we talked about being a content creator. You don't ever want to waste time. And I feel like when I'm not creating or consuming content, I'm wasting time. It's fascinating, and it's very nerve-wracking at the same time.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. Oh, and just to cover something in the chat here, Brian Langell, #1 fan, it looks like. He says top fan #1. He says that, I believe he does commentary for wrestling. He does like live wrestling shows. And he says that if you have good chemistry with someone, it makes it a lot easier as far as announcing goes, because you know when to start and kind of stop talking. And you also know when they're going to jump into. So you can definitely see that in a lot of wrestling commentators. I mean, there's certain ones that don't work as well, but you know, the King and JR from WWE back in the day, they had like the best chemistry like ever. Like they just knew when they're gonna talk and how to like play off each other. It was amazing. Mm-hmm. And then we also
Monsoon and the Brain had really good chemistry too. There are some old school ones that have really good ones too. Vince did a great job on the mic when he was on it too. So
it's strange that Vince McMahon was an announcer or a commentator, because I never knew that. But then listening back to like some of the old like videos and watching them, it's just kind of like, that is Vince. He doesn't sound like the Vince you know, or the Vince that you came to know. But yeah, he does a really good job. Like he knows what he's doing.
He does. I think the fact that he's a multi-billion-dollar company with a $44 per share stock says that.
Well, I know, but like, how many times does like the actual like CEO of a company actually know how to do like other jobs within the company? Because Vince is a wrestler, he's a commentator, he's a player and an actor. Like, he does all these different aspects, and maybe he's not the best at every single one. But then again, there's some reason to say he's like definitely still high level. Like, he's one of the best heels in wrestling. Like
I would watch a Vince McMahon live stream.
Yes.
Can we make that happen?
Let's go to Twitter right now.
Someone tweet at Vince McMahon and tell him we want to watch him play Minecraft.
And I can just picture him stepping back from a stick figure saying, "That's good shit."
Okay, that was a good impression there. I gave it a 9.5.
Oh, wow. I'll have to use that in D&D then.
Oh my God, Vince McMahon is a character in D&D. I don't play in D&D, but it sounds amazing.
Well, we already have Dusty Rhodes and Macho Man Randy Savage. Langell, when he plays some of the NPCs in my campaign, he channels these old wrestlers as inspiration, let's say, and it's so fucking funny. God damn it, pal! I need more redstone. Brian said that in chat. It's so fucking funny.
It's a reference I don't get, but I find it hilarious too.
I gotta punch this fucking tree. It's good shit. Yes.
One thing I find interesting is that we have a couple different perspectives on how people can improve their stream quality. Me, Meter, or at least I focused on audio quality because I'm an audio guy for the most part. And it seems like you, Bama, were focusing more on the marketing side. And I think marketing is the thing that I know the least about. And it's definitely one thing to streaming, which is like, I know streaming is very big with marketing because people are always trying to gain that little minute edge, such as like slightly better video quality, slightly better frames per second and kind of stream stability, because they want to like avoid any drop frames in OBS or Streamlabs or whatever they're using. Oh, did that just open a can of worms with those drop frames?
We don't have the time.
But yeah, that's what people talk about so much, is drop frames and how to avoid drop frames and all these different little things with streaming. But the marketing side of it is something that I'm not as into, but it's interesting you take that, say, mindset when like you talk to anything, like you talk professional and they talk more about marketing than they do about like the actual logistics usually. And I just find that intriguing. Sometimes they talk about logistics, but
and a lot of times when it comes to popularity on a streaming platform, it actually has less to do with marketing and more to do with inter-site networking. On Mixer, you've got your partners, and each partner has a circle of partners that they relate to the most. So, and that's where you get a lot of community overlap. You hang out in their streams, they hang out in your streams, and then they bring their community to you, you bring yours to them, and it helps grow, because networking, yes, just
We're familiar
true
with that,
networking.
Nate.
And so that's not done by the channel themselves, like not by Mixer or Twitch themselves. That's kind of done by you interacting with other streamers.
All organic interactions. Now there's been histories of fake people using other people's stepping stones, but that's not really what we're trying to talk about here. We're trying to talk about, like I have a large circle of people I call friends on the streaming platforms. And, if I'm looking for content to breathe in, I'm trying to hang out with them because they play games kind of the way I do, or their personalities entertain me, or I just like them in general.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's kind of interesting about streamers as well, is, Let's Players as well, but streamers I've noticed more often that they actually tend to watch each other. Like you'll hear shoutouts of like, oh, hey, yeah, this is my buddy, blah, 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 and he plays this game. It's actually really amazing. I haven't checked his latest stream out. Like, it's not like they're being facetious most of the time, at least from what I can tell. Like as you said, probably some are. There's probably some pay for shoutouts and stuff like that, but most of it seems like they're actually like are streamers themselves. Like there's people who like streaming and watching people, play video games or kind of do whatever they're doing, and they also, they're fans and also creators themselves. If that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's kind of like how me and Meter got into podcasting as well, because I got into podcasting first, and I was talking to Meter about podcasting, and he had a lot of questions and stuff, and then like 6 months later, like a year later, like Meter was like probably more into podcasting than I was. Like
that doesn't addictive. That doesn't sound like me.
Yeah. And so then, we decided to create a podcast. We talked about, because we just wanted to monetize it essentially, or I use the term monetize, but it's more like just content creation. Like there's no reason not to be recording the conversation, but also it was a fact of like, we're fans of the medium ourselves. So we wanted to like also be a part of that medium.
It was huge. And then as far as networking goes, I took networking to 11. So
you were crazy at it. I don't really do any. I don't really do any advertising for my stuff either, which maybe will change soon here, hopefully.
I agree. I think networking and cross promotion is the number one way to grow your audience. I saw the first time I really realized that was Normal Boots, the YouTube channel that had some really popular gamers on it. I think JonTron and Pro Jared and all of them were all together on one place. And then there was another one that came up called Hidden Block that had like Brutal Moose and a couple of others. So it was, you got one content creator who you liked their stuff, and then you saw more like it. And then I realized that's what that guy with the glasses did, was just he created a network of like-minded people producing content. Because what people do is they'll binge on one person that they like, be out of it, and now be looking for something else. And if it's something right next door, jump on over to that. And sometimes they'll even end up liking that even more. I started with that guy with the glasses, and I ended up liking some of the other people more. Lord Cats was amazing with his Until We Win series until he stopped doing that. And I liked Phaelus, but then I started watching Lupa and I liked her content more. But I watched them both. So networking, really, really powerful and highly suggested.
I can tell you one person who really needs to work on their marketing is that guy with glasses. I have no idea who that is. Are you describing someone or is that his gamer tag?
Nostalgia Critic. Are you familiar with the Nostalgia Critic?
Nope.
He's not a streamer. He does, I guess, reaction videos, recap videos to shitty movies usually.
Ah.
He was birthed from the angry video game nerd type scene. Only he did it with movies.
Oh.
Yeah. He's still really big. He's got like well over 1 million subscribers or something. I don't know what he has exactly, but he's still pretty big. There was a bit of a loss there because there's a bit of a controversy that happened. But he was back in the day. I mean, this was kind of like before video. I mean, YouTube was getting bigger at this point, I think, but they were kind of doing their own thing with Blip TV and their own different content generation. So they got really big with that. And then it transferred over to YouTube, but it's kind of like the Wild Wild West back in the day with HVGN, Angry Video Game Nerd, Nostalgia Critic. And then Nostalgia Critic is actually a big reason why a lot of things popped up. Like he deserves a lot of credit with that. I mean, maybe he deserves some criticism too with certain aspects. But like there's so many different channels that kind of rose around that whole medium. And I think he was part of the reason why we have so many different internet reviewers is because of him.
Really good idea, really bad execution. he is from everything I've learned, his whole company is not good. But all the politics aside, I definitely agree. As far as not only being a visionary, it's one thing to like see here's a thing that can happen. It's another thing to make it happen. And that's really the hard part. And he did that. And he had a lot of people help him. All of the content creators who were on board, amazing. And they helped that as well. But definitely does deserve credit for that.
Yeah. Well, he's a little bit strange too, because he didn't actually run his company after a certain point. He like kind of gave it to some guy. And then that guy was kind of, yeah. There's a whole story with that. But let's not get in politics because this is going to go on a very weird side tangent no one cares about.
Yeah, so my mixer's mixer.com/meter. Pretty straightforward. Go check that bad boy out and give it a follow. Because I stream sometimes, and I guarantee you are going to like the stream. And if I'm wrong, what's yours, Bama?
I stream primarily nowadays at twitch.tv/BamaShockz.
Okay, perfect.
See, I'm on We Need to Talk podcast, so that's where I am usually. Yeah. I also got another side podcast now. It's called Does Anything Matter? It's what a guest we've had on previous. His name is Mr. Carpenter. But yeah, you can check that out. Just Google it. It's going to be on Anchor pretty soon here, but it's mostly on YouTube right now. And I also do reaction videos. Just look at like Pep and Reacts or something. I also have a couple of videos about memes. I've been memeing to produce some more videos on that. But it's coming.
Your memeology videos are very, very good.
Yeah. My problem is I get too like distracted with things because I started doing like college stuff and it's like
pretty good reason.
I don't know, I'm paying money for that. So I'm just like, okay, well, I guess I should study. I mean, and I'm also doing another podcast. So it's like it takes a lot of effort to make those videos, like the meme videos, a lot of editing.
Well, they're great and I love them and I highly suggest them. I highly suggest twitch.tv/BamaShockz. And we mentioned it a couple of times, but TPC Sports Live, Tango Papa Charlie Sports Live.
Oh my God.
Highly suggested. NATO Phonetic Alphabet. You like that one?
I've been using the NATO Phonetic Alphabet a lot because I've been doing like live calls, like with crappy cell phone, and no one can understand what I'm saying. So I'm just like Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. And it's the best thing you could ever do on this live stream.
Bama, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're gonna end this? Okay, so I'll end it with a story.
Oh.
So one time there was a man, his name was John, and John wanted to do some live streaming. So he took his camera and he pointed at himself and he started recording. And he did this for a number of days, weeks, even months. And a couple of years actually went by. And John was wondering why he didn't get any subscribers, any reactions. And we ended up finding out in the end that he was actually never live streaming. He was just recording through his phone. So if you want to get out there, you have to put yourself out there. And that's the lesson of John.
Nate, wait, what? For years? For years? He recorded to his phone? How big was his phone?
Well, this is the sadness because he had to delete the videos that as they went on. He just thought they were live streaming, but they weren't. So he just deleted the videos. And
so years worth of content is gone. Nate, I have chills. That is a fucking horror story for a streamer.
Yeah, and he actually cried after a couple episodes because he thought this was the best stream he's done in quite some time.
Now that's good content.
Well, it's content no one saw, so you gotta, it's like the book you never wrote. You have to actually write that book to write it.
Oh, it's like quantum mechanics. If a man cries in his house and no one's around to watch the stream, is he really crying?
Huh? Is a stream with no viewers really a stream?
I don't know, but I think we need to talk. Good enough.